Okay.
You ever seen this book?
Yes.
Soul on Ice, right? He's got a chapter in here called what's it called? Hold on. It's called the primeval mitosis.
Mm-hmm.
Primeval mitosis. And he gets into some heavy stuff that I won't go into too deeply, but he's got this concept related to class society where he talks about the omnipotent administrator,
Right.
and the super masculine menial, right? This would be on the male side. On the female side, you got the feminine and the sub-feminine, or the Amazon, right? Now, the people in the upper echelons of society, these the omnipotent and the super and the ultra feminine, right? They concentrate mostly on the mentality, on the mind, to the detriment of the body, right? People on the other side, the sub-feminine and the super masculine menial, is just the opposite. They have highly developed physiques.
Right.
They're a little slow up here, right? And that, without going too deep into what he's talking about, that creates some kind of dichotomy where eventually the white woman gets put up on a pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
She's all frustrated because she's not getting what she needs from the omnipotent administrator. What she wants is really the super masculine menial, right? And flip that, super masculine menial is denied access to the woman on the pedestal, right? But the people who put the woman on the pedestal really don't care that much about the woman,
right?
She's just an object. Look at Miss Universe Pageants, all these beauty contests. What, you know, that's presenting that woman in a certain light. I've been in 2 Miss Universe pageants. I've seen it up close.
Right.
You know, I was the first one I was in. I was the escort. I was the military escort to the first black woman to be a semifinalist in a Miss Universe. Her name was Cherie Creque. She's from the Virgin Islands, from St. Croix, right?
Okay.
But I was all up in the middle of that, and I was like, this is I don't know. Now, you know, Donald Trump used to own the Miss Universe concept.
Yeah, I know.
You got to know what that was about.
Yeah, you know what type of dude he is. He a predator.
You've seen him in pictures with Epstein, so hey, come on, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So that's that ultra feminine thing that they're trying to project to the world. That's untouchable. So they say. But in this High John the Conqueror story, John flips the script.
Okay.
On the whole. So.
Okay.
And this comes out of Julius Lester's book, right? So I'm gonna read it because that's the only way I can get it out really right.
Right.
I caution you that it does have the N word, but I'm about historical accuracy.
It's fine. That's fine.
Yes, this is just how the literature is written, right?
We want accuracy here.
I'll give a little background on High John, and then we're gonna go into this little situation he had with his master. Now, what Master didn't know was that John was a conjure man. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, my picture dropped out. Let me start that again. Now, what Master didn't know was that John was a conjure man. I mean, John could conjure anything. John could cast spells, and he could cast them away. He could tell when a man was going to die and a baby be born. He could tell when a woman was doing what she wasn't supposed to, and a man was doing what he wasn't supposed to. And if John had a good reason, he could make the birds sing at midnight and the dew fall at noon on a hot summer day. High John was so famous that they even got a root named after him, called the John the Conqueror root. And it's the most powerful root there is. Only thing more powerful than the John the Conqueror root is a black cat bone. And John had one of them. Now, one day, Master just happened to be talking to another slave owner. I got a nigga on my plantation that can whoop any nigga in the world. slave master said. Can't whoop my nigga John. I got $25,000, say he can't, said the other slave master. It's a bet, John's owner said. We'll have the match in town a month from today. Master couldn't wait for that match. He knew that John was probably going to get killed, and Master didn't mind losing $25,000 for the players just seeing it. Well, the news spread around the state quicker than hoof and mouth disease. It was going to be a match between the two baddest niggas in Mississippi. All the white folks was planning on coming. The governor had announced he was coming and bringing his family. White folks didn't like nothing better than to see two niggas in the ring fighting each other until they both fell out. Well, the day of the match came and white folks were there from everywhere. There were white folks there from Hang a Nigga, Mississippi, and there were white folks there from Cut a Nigga, Alabama, and Georgia, and from New York. The governor was there, the lieutenant governor, the sergeant governor, and the corporal governor and his family. There were so many white folks there, it looked like a lynching party. About an hour before the match was to start, in come the plantation owner with his nigga Andy. Now let me tell you, this was one big nigga. He was so big and strong, they had him tied with chains. He was snorting and growling and carrying on, so that they had to chain him to one of the pillars of the courthouse. He was so big that he had to stoop down at night to let the moon go by. 4 white ladies fainted when they saw him. When John's master saw him, he began to feel sorry he had made that bet. He looked at that nigga Andy and could just see John pulverized. John deserved a good beating, but nothing like what he was going to get.
Mm-hmm.
Well, about 10 minutes before match time, in comes John. And John was dressed like he was going to his own funeral. I'm going to show you what he looked like. I got that picture. I got a picture of him. Let's see here. There he is. Come here. This is what they depict him as looking like when the picture comes back.
Okay, I've seen that picture.
Come on. Yeah, there he is.
Okay.
He was going to some funeral. I mean, he was clean. Had him a pair of black patent leather shoes with spats, some red trousers with a red coat, a white shirt, and a black string tie. Over his arm was a hand-carved cane studded with diamonds. He was wearing a Stetson hat and walking real slow, tipping his hat to everybody. John diddy bop down the aisle, speaking to all the white folks. How you do, boss? It's good to see you. Haven't seen you since you sold my mama. How you do, sir? Last time I saw you was the time you whipped my sister and rubbed the cuts with vinegar. That was to keep her from getting lockjaw. John was as polite as he could be, a perfect gentleman. After John had finished greeting all the white folks, he stepped out and he pretended like he hadn't even seen Andy, who was snorting like he swallowed a box of snuff. John looked around until he spied the governor and walked over to him as fast as he could go, looking mean. John crawled over the governor's wife, stepped on the governor, and hauled off and slapped the governor's daughter. Pow! He hit that white girl all upside the head. He hit that girl so hard that her blonde hair turned brown. He hit her so hard, she was cross-eyed for the rest of her life. Pow! He smacked her again. Girl, didn't I tell you to stay at home and not come out here today? What do you mean disobeying me? Pow! He smacked her one more time. Well, when that nigga Andy saw John hit that white girl, He started getting away so fast that he pulled the courthouse down, broke his chains, and from what I heard, he ain't stopped running until he got to Canada. and he knew he couldn't whoop John, because if John was bad enough to slap a white woman, John was bad enough to whoop him. The white folks were kind of upset about John slapping that white woman until they realized that he simply outsmarted them. Then they fell out laughing, especially the who had bet on John. Master wasn't mad because the governor's daughter had said one time that his son wasn't good enough for her to marry. But the governor was kind of ticked off until old Master slipped him half to 25,000, at which point the governor told his daughter to shut up all that screaming and hollering. And he started himself, right? So back to what Cleaver was saying, right? That dynamic that went on when he slapped that girl, you know, everybody was a little concerned until they thought about the money,
right?
The economic gain. Girl don't matter,
right?
You see what I'm saying? Right. Girls insignificant, right? Thus, now we have Me Too, you know, and stuff like that, because you know, those women are finally waking up to the fact that they don't matter.
You got people laughing in the comments, so yeah.
Yeah,
it is
man,
funny.
The
psychology though, that's the psychology behind that, but also I like to have, like, when I'm having a conversation with some of my friends and we're talking about the different dynamics that go into white supremacy and like the power dynamic between the white woman and the white man. And like you're saying, the white man has done a good job of using the white woman as a tool to get what he needs, basically.
Exactly.
And when white women realized that white men did all this conquering and they didn't get their fair share, that's when you had the friction between them two, because the white man has always been abusive and violent to his woman. If you look at histories, they've always been that. And that's part of that culture. But then when the white women realized that they wasn't getting their cut of that power, that's when you saw a lot of the strife and a lot of these different movements coming around.
Yeah, think about during slavery times, right? Master could be all over the slave quarters, and the wife could be mad as she want to be, but she ain't ready to give up all that luxury and all that high life. You know what I'm saying? In Louisiana, I didn't even have this on my list of things to talk about. They had a system called placage. If you've seen the movie Feast of All Saints, I think it was on either HBO or
I haven't seen that.
Check that out. Feast of All Saints. Everybody's in it. Ozzie Davis, Ruby Dee, any black actor from the 80s or whatever's in it. Go ahead.
Could you say the name of the book with High John The Conqueror again? That was sold on ice.
No. The High John The Conqueror story is in Black Folktales by Julius Lester. That psychological analysis I was talking about, the super masculine and the ultra feminine, that's a concept that Eldridge Cleaver wrote in his book Soul on Ice.
Okay, so